Healthcare workers trying to combat the Ebola outbreak are facing not only the virus but often public hostility. 8 Guineans from a delegation of health, government and religious officials were massacred in the southern town of Womi after the group tried to hide from stone-throwing villagers. CNN's Nima Elbagir recently visited the region to report on the Ebola outbreak, and she joined us now from London. Nima, you have a real understanding, boots-on-the-ground understanding of the fear and the mistrust by local people towards this disease.
Absolutely, Robin. That is often one of the biggest barriers, because the tragedy with Ebola is that if caught early enough and if you are taken to a facility that has the resources, then you can survive. It's the dehydration, it's the massive loss of fluids that generally kills victims. But of course, the fear is that you could go suspecting that you might have Ebola and be put into some oversubscribed, under-resourced facility, locked away with others who definitely have the disease and catch it. And that's what's causing so many people to stay away and to attack those 8 health workers who were killed in this attack in Guinea, because they're so scared that even if I don't have it, what happens if I go and I catch it there? And you talked about that 2,600 number that the World Health Organization has said. The fear is that that really is only the tip of the iceberg, Robin, and that is what is at the center of teams like those going out into the rural areas in Guinea and the lockdown in Sierra Leone, with volunteers going house to house trying to see if there are any suspected Ebola cases there, because until we get a sense of what the true depth of this problem is, it's very difficult to combat it, Robin.
I think what's so, tragic and sad about this group of educators being macheted to death is this, again, the sense that educators and health workers are on the front line of this. Often it's healthcare workers that are dying of the virus. And again, this attempts by local people to go and explain to villagers out in rural areas what you're saying. And again, they are the targets. What more can be done? How do you get over this?
I think what's really interesting to me is, we've spoken about the paranoia inside West Africa, but the paranoia is all around us. It is across the world, and it's what's slowing the response to this disease. And until people can take that prism that we're looking at West Africa with and turn it on themselves, the response will be inadequate. It's 5 months since this outbreak began, and only yesterday did the UN Security Council hold a meeting to discuss a coordinated international response. And still, we haven't yet seen what the plans for that are, because realistically, a lot of aid workers that are going to be called out by the UN to go in, they're looking at what's going on out there, and they are afraid, Robin. And it is that barrier of fear that everybody needs to overcome, because it's not going to be limited to West Africa. There are already concerns about cases in the Congo. There are concerns about those traveling back from West Africa. Until people realize that it is a fight that everybody has to be involved in, this is not going to stop.